Good, happy Saturday evening, July 10, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Saturday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin right now. First up, Delta variant spreads as Pfizer looks to administer a third shot. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
Wendy's only serves one kind of breakfast, a better one. So chuck your old salty egg bitch and pick up 2 of these freshly made sandwiches and
the Delta variant now accounts for more than half of the new coronavirus cases in the U.S., 52%, and almost all of the new cases are among people who have not been vaccinated. 55% of all Americans have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine, and almost half of the entire nation is fully vaccinated. But the spread of the highly contagious variant comes as restrictions have been lifted in almost all of the U.S., and as vaccine maker Pfizer asks for emergency authorization to administer a third booster shot. Michael George is here with the latest. Michael, good morning.
Dana, good morning. 99.7% of new cases right now are among people who haven't been vaccinated. In Mississippi, a state with a low vaccination rate, health officials urged people to avoid crowds. And in other vaccine-hesitant communities, there are new efforts to push back the Delta variant by encouraging more people to get the shot.
Everybody go get a door.
The NAACP put boots on the ground in Louisville neighborhoods where only 30% of residents have been vaccinated, hoping flyers and conversations get more people to get shots. But the effort comes as cases are rising in 26 states. Hospitalization rates are up in 17 states, 27% in Florida, almost exclusively among the unvaccinated. The far corners of Utah are hit hard too.
We're seeing people that are extremely sick with it, a lot sicker than what they were the majority of the time in the wintertime.
But the demographic is younger since then.
What we're seeing is all the unvaccinated people. We haven't seen anybody that has been vaccinated.
With the pandemic persisting and the country yet to achieve herd immunity, there are questions about how long vaccinated people will remain protected. Questions like, will the 158 million fully vaccinated Americans each need a booster shot? Both the FDA and CDC said no yesterday, but both Pfizer and BioNTech officials announced they were seeking emergency use authorization for a booster because antibody levels in the blood may decline 6 months after immunization. Those studies dispute that, and leading physicians are counseling a go-slow approach. Dr. Celine Gounder is a New York infectious disease specialist.
I think the headline here is that if you have received both doses of the Pfizer, or for that matter, the Moderna vaccine, you are fully protected against severe disease, hospitalization, and death, even with the Delta variant.
And here's some big news for parents and students. The CDC updated its guidance on schools. They say it's safe to go back to in-person classes in the fall, and masks aren't needed for teachers and students who are vaccinated. Dana?
All right, Michael, thank you very much.
okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Biden warns Putin to act on Russian cyber criminals targeting the U.S. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
My name is Nathan, and this is my Chick-fil-A success story. As a team member, I learned that using my pledge.
President Biden has warned Russian leader Vladimir Putin to stop cyber criminals operating in Russia who are targeting U.S. companies. In a phone call on Friday, Mr. Biden said the United States was prepared to take, quote, any action necessary to defend U.S. infrastructure following last weekend's largest ransomware attack to date. Christina Ruffini is at the White House with the latest. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Michelle. The White House is trying to put pressure on Russia to stop these groups from operating what are essentially cyber hit squads from within its territory. But as these attacks seem to be getting more frequent and more damaging, experts point out they're just the ones we know about.
You said 3 weeks ago there would be consequences. Will there be, sir? Yes.
President Biden didn't clarify exactly what action the U.S. will take in response to another major cyber attack against American companies by groups based in Russia, but says he did make a few things clear to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Expect to act and give them enough information to act on who that is.
The two men spoke by phone on Friday as law enforcement agencies try to track down the perpetrators of a sophisticated attack on a software management company that took up to 1,500 companies offline over the 4th of July weekend. This comes after a ransomware attack in May forced the shutdown of the Colonial oil and gas pipeline, causing shortages up and down the East Coast.
Another area we spent a great deal of time on was cyber and cybersecurity.
Russian-based hackers were a key topic of conversation when the two leaders met last month in Geneva.
Responsible countries need to take action against criminals who conduct ransomware activities on their territory.
Although experts do not believe these hacks are being carried out by the Russian government is doing very little, if anything, to stop them. They're acting with impunity, but not at the direction of the Russian government?
That's correct. The U.S. government trying to put pressure on the Russians to say, regardless of whatever the arrangement is, we need this to stop.
Rob Lee is CEO of Dragos, an industrial cybersecurity firm.
But until there's some actual consequence, it benefits, if anything, the Russians to see consequence getting laid against the U.S. and others with no blowback effect whatsoever for themselves.
Now, the keystroke battle isn't just going on with hackers. There's also a bit of one between the Kremlin and the White House. Yesterday, the Kremlin released a different statement summarizing the call between the two leaders and said Washington has not asked Moscow to take any specific action regarding these hacks. A senior administration official we talked to said the U.S. has conveyed multiple specific requests to Russia. They've been very clear about what they believe Russia's specific responsibility on this issue is, and ended with they would just leave it at that. Michelle? Sorry.
That's okay, Christina. Thank you very much.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. West grapples with oppressive heat as dozens of records expected to fall. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
With my new TD Double Up credit card, I really get double cash back.
You do.
You guys like...
Dangerous heat for millions of people in the West. Cooling centers are open from California to Colorado, states where temperatures are expected to be well above 100 degrees in some places again today. On Friday, the intense heat buckled the pavements along parts of Interstate 80 west of Sacramento. Death Valley could break a record today, set to potentially hit 130 degrees or higher. Adding to the trouble in the West, more than 50 large wildfires burning in at least 15 states, including a fire that's consumed more than 38,000 acres in south central Oregon and is threatening 3,000 homes. Meteorologist Jeff Biradelli is tracking it all. Jeff, it has been a very busy spring and summer for you and out west.
For sure. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. So for the second time in 2 weeks, we are talking about not just a heat wave, but a historic heat wave. We hit 130 yesterday in Death Valley, the highest temperature ever reliably measured on Earth. We could hit 131 or 132 during the day today. 50 million people right now under heat alerts in the West. Here's a look at a list of some all-time records that could be challenged or broken today. There's Death Valley, 131, Redding, 118, Las Vegas, 117 degrees. Look at Palm Springs, 119. Notice that the core of the heat's not in the Pacific Northwest, it's down in the Southwest and across California. When you wake up in the morning, Palm Springs, you're at 92, so there's no relief. 104 in the morning in Death Valley. And look at Redding, California tomorrow afternoon, a temperature of 117 degrees. Here are some of the recent heat headlines. It's been the hottest June on record for the United States. Also, unfortunately, the driest on record once again. across the West Coast. And a study came out on that Pacific Northwest heat wave. They say it was a 1 in 150,000 year event before climate change. And as we head towards 2040 or 2050, it could be a once in 5 year event. That's how quickly things are changing. But I'll remind you that we are the captains of this ship. We control our destiny and how hot we get with our policies and our actions.
But first you have to accept, right, Jeff?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, and there you go. And let's switch gears now, and let's go to weather and see the weather across the United States this evening. And here is tonight's forecast for this evening. In Boston, it'll be 62 degrees. New York City, 70 degrees. In Washington, D.C., 71 degrees. Atlanta, 70 degrees. Jacksonville, Florida, 75 degrees. Tampa Bay, Florida, 75 degrees. In Miami, Florida, 77 degrees. Sorry about that. New Orleans, 79 degrees. In Dallas, 77 degrees. In Phoenix, 91 degrees. In Las Vegas, 92 degrees. Los Angeles, 67 degrees. In San Francisco, 54 degrees. That is a look at the weather across the United States and the rest of the temperatures as well. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast. Thank you for watching and have a great evening, and see you back here tomorrow with more news coverage. Good night and goodbye.